excused tonight. Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Becerra?
Here.
Mrs. Pat? Here. Mr. Ramick?
Here.
Mrs. Winton? Here. Mr. Woolley?
Here.
Mayor Sollers?
Here.
Mrs. Bauer? Mrs. Toko?
Councilwoman, would you like to lead us?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 3 is an acceptance of the agenda, as read.
Motion.
Support?
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Remick, supported by Councilwoman Pats. Is there any discussion? Okay. If not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item 4.1 is a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held April 20th, 2021, and dispense with the oral reading.
Motion?
Support. Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Pats, supported by Councilman Remick. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. This now takes us to the mayor communications part of the agenda. Mayor Salas.
Mr. Chairman, I only have the resolutions. You might read it in, or I don't actually have the copy of it.
Okay. Caroline, you want to read? Let me make the motion first then. Yeah. Item 5.1 is a motion to approve the 52nd Annual Municipal Clerks Week, May 2nd through May 8th, 2021.
Motion?
Support. Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Pat, supported by Councilman Johnson. Is there any discussion? I just want to say well-deserved, and I think our clerk and her entire department do a great job.
Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Therefore, be it hereby proclaimed that I, Mayor Rick Sollers, on behalf of the City Council and the residents of Taylor, Michigan, on this 4th day of May, 2021, do recognize the week of May 2nd through May 8th, 2021 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Cynthia A. Bauer, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent.
May the fourth be with you.
I'll give it to you.
Mayor Sollers, do you have anything else? Okay, this now takes us to the regular part of the agenda. Item 6.1 is a motion to approve the second reading of case number 21-01, zoning ordinance to amend from B1 local business to I1 light industrial. The property consists of 7.03 acres and is located at the north side of Ecorse Road between Cherokee and Gully.
Motion.
Support.
Yeah, I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, supported by Councilwoman Winton. Is there any discussion?
If we vote no on the
then that's saying we do not want it rezoned.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah, this is the second reading. Laura, that is correct, right? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I think some of the issues I have here is, number one, from what we've seen, it's a two-story, they're requesting a two-story building. That was supposed to be the original, especially after looking at the sales, the amount of what we sold it for, what we did. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing at all.
Through the chair, I also had some, in reading the McKenna documentation that they sent with some inconsistencies with the master plan that I also don't necessarily feel this is a good fit for that.
Well, being that this thing has been sitting empty for quite a few years, there's not much chance of it being anything else that wasn't before that. I'm going to vote. I'll vote yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Mazura?
Yeah, I share some concerns too. You know, we had some very lengthy discussions back when we sold this property and some concerns that, you know, the vision of a $15 million convention center might not come through. We talked about the possibility of, you know, the contract was actually written to allow the city to take the property back if that convention center wasn't built. The idea was let us control what it might turn into, not someone who we sold it to for, I believe, $800,000. I agree with Charlie. I'd rather see it open and active and occupied, but
We all would.
knowing that we sold it for $800,000, knowing that it sat there vacant, knowing that, to my knowledge, it's over $100,000 past due on taxes, and is now being sold for $1.3 million. Seems like we were sold a bill of goods when we voted on a $15 million convention center, and whether or not it may at some point turn into a storage facility, possibly so, but the transaction itself doesn't seem like it turned out to be a good deal for taxpayers. It seems like there's more questions than answers, and I'm not interested in moving forward on this property right now either.
And I don't disagree with some of those comments. The 1.3, yeah. What have they put into it? What have they lost? Did they strip it out?
They're not
They have
paying taxes.
engineering. You know, and I understand that, but it's indoor storage facility. You're not gonna see anything outside, my opinion. And if it's not this, it can't be anything else. Am I correct, Laura?
I think it could have
If
been.
they don't come in here, they can't do anything else. It has to go back to business.
Through the chair, that property has sat vacant for a long time because of the odd situation. It started out as I-1 as a Don Lee distributing beverage distributor, which was an I-1 use, then it converted to office. And the problem now is, a reason it's sitting vacant for so long is because of the size of the building and no takers right now. In office right now, the market is really down on anybody looking for any kind of office use.
Is that the data you're getting, or is that what they're telling us?
No, that's the data that I'm getting.
Okay. Because buying it for 800 and then selling it for 1.3 2 years later or 3 years later, correct me if I'm wrong, that's not a bad deal at all. Especially when we sold that building, built a cart barn, because that was our cart barn, our storage facility, everything plus. We spent a ton of money on a cart barn that really is inefficient in my opinion, because we've had to keep adding to it because it's not big enough, which I think we're at $1.2, $1.3 million there. But that's a whole nother story. But
Chair? And I don't disagree with you on that. But only a quarter of that building was the cart barn. The rest of it sat empty. The front was dilapidated for years. And it was an I-1, going back to I-1. They promised not to cut any of the woods in the back. I see it as a win. It's going to go back on the tax rolls. And if they don't do it, then we'll just have an empty building again.
well, technically it is on the tax rolls. They're just choosing not to pay them.
Through the chair, to answer Ms. Winton's question, it would revert back to the B1 zoning. It would stay B1. in the same sense that if they violated any of the conditions, it would go back to the B1.
Mr. Chairman, I mean, theoretically, it could be rezoned into anything. I mean,
Anybody could bring.
you have to, there has to be a buyer and they have to have a vision, but we could have a request to rezone it into anything that some entrepreneur thinks he or she can turn it into. So I'm not worried about what it might